Thank you, Suma, so much for joining us as a mentor for the Women in Business Leadership Program. It's great to have you here. Today, we, of course, are having a candid discussion with Suma on her leadership style and the advice she has for other women leaders out there. Welcome again, Suma.
Thank you. Thank you, Rahul. My pleasure interacting with you.
Perfect. So we're going to begin the discussion. And the first question, Suma, I have is, how would you best describe your leadership style? And if we have to ask some of the do's and don'ts around you, what do you think they'll be? So your leadership style and the do's and don'ts around you.
My leadership style has evolved over the last many years with varied experience and exposure. Today, I adapt my leadership style to the unique situations or activities to meet the business needs as well as my team's needs. My endeavor is to create an environment and ecosystem for our colleagues to express, explore, and work collaboratively. I believe in equipping the colleagues with the right tools and empowering them to meet the deliverables. My leadership values are based on ethics and integrity, and that's something extremely important for me. No matter how tough or challenging the situation is, standing for what is ethically right in the face of adversity is very important. So, for me, leadership is the ability to inspire, motivate, and get the team to perform at its best. I believe if my team members enjoy what they are doing and perform to their best ability, then I succeed as a leader.
In today's professional, landscape, what do you feel are the most critical skills required of women professions?
Great question, and this is something I ensure that I talk in all the available platforms. The women of today, they need to have a career intentionality. Career intentionality is nothing but strategically planning one's career with intention. So we have the career we want to chart out rather than having the career created by coincidence and chance. So the having a career intentionality will help the women manage their career objectives as well as help them prepare for the varied challenges, obstacles, roadblocks which comes in their way in their professional as well as personal life. And it's so very important to understand one's learning styles to manage different peoples and situations. Raising the hand when opportunities come definitely will create a lot more visibility, exposure, as well as provide the development. Realizing the power of networking will go a very long way. Negotiation and influencing skill will definitely enhance the effectiveness as we women need to balance several roles.
You mentioned you as women leaders have to manage several roles. So you're, of course, a successful women leader in the industry, Suma. How do you prioritize work-life balance, and at the same time manage your leadership responsibilities?
Will you ask this question to a man?
Possibly, but I would actually, you're right, it'll be a different context in the question.
Okay. With digitization, hybrid work models, and the future of work evolving, the discussion today is more about work life integration. And that is the reason I asked, do you ask this question to a man? Because today, even though the platforms are not completely level playing field, but it's getting over there. So, integrating all elements of one's life and creating a harmony which works well. And that's going to be different for different people. And it will also vary based on what stage of life you are. The preferences and the priorities at a given time varies. So what was important to me 20 years back, it's different 10 years back and different today. So I try to integrate the various aspects. What are the things professional life enjoy? I like to spend time with the family. I like to read. I like to enrich myself. All these are different elements. So I try to integrate all these different elements or components to create a harmony in my life. And it's important to create allies at home as well as at work who will support in managing some of the work life challenges. And one message to the women folks out there is overcome the superwoman syndrome, and it is okay to ask for support. And definitely you'll be surprised, the help can come from unexpected quarters. So for me as an individual, each day is a learning. Each day you try to find a different answer by using the different tools, and it's a journey. End of the day, just ensure that the passion is maintained. If the passion is maintained, you will figure it out.
As an HR leader of your organization, Suma, what strategies do you employ to really foster a culture of diversity and inclusion? And diversity and inclusion may not be limited to gender; it could be diverse skill sets, etc. But what are your strategies that you deploy?
I've been fortunate to work for this organization, OTIS, as well as the my past organizations I have worked. The organization and the leaders have been extremely supportive of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Long before these words became very common in the marketplace. Having a diverse group of people from varied backgrounds and creating an inclusive environment definitely drives performance of the organization at individual level as well as the team's level. Our focus, as you mentioned, is on different aspects of diversity. It could be gender, it could be generational, people with disabilities, culture, tenure, etc. The leadership commitment is key. Leadership commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion is critical to sustain that inclusive culture where each one of us feel protected, feel part of the team, and have a sense of belonging. One of our pillars of ESG strategy is people and communities. That is fostering an inclusive culture where every voice feels safe, welcome, and heard. The DE&I Council and having the right structure and process definitely is supporting us in creating an environment for our colleagues so they can express without being judged and able to contribute to their maximum potential. Again, when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's not a job of one day or 2 days. It's just not a project based. This is something which we need to work on it day in and out to ensure that the culture is sustained. We have different generation of people coming. We have a lot of youngsters which is coming into the organization. So lot more we have to ensure that we talk about it. Our process, our programs are giving out the right message, and the people are able to participate and bring their whole selves to work.
And how do you see um, the landscape of leadership evolving for women in the future? You mentioned that things have really changed, but going ahead in the future, how do you see this landscape change
For the woman leaders, is it?
for the women leaders? Yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah, now it's a good time. With many organizations committing for gender parity, focusing on increasing the favorability for the inclusive culture in the various surveys, development of women professional at various levels, mentoring programs, partnering with schools and universities for the STEM program, the kind of program which you are doing. So the future looks exciting. So with the shift in the mindset of both men as well as women, the future looks progressive. But then we have work to do. We must focus on it in a very strategic way. And I'm sure the things will look much more bright, and maybe the need for this conversation may not be there in the next few years' time. I hope so.
Reflecting on your own experiences, Suma, what advice would you really give to aspiring women for leadership roles? If you could sort of get a little nostalgic of your own particular experiences and draw from that, what is it that you would like to say to them?
Business understanding, that's the number one. Business understanding is key, no matter which industry or sector you are working. Invest in enhancing your knowledge about the business and its challenges. Keep pace with the technology. You cannot solve today's problem using yesterday's tools. And be authentic. Be your authentic self. And most importantly, say yes to the projects outside of your comfort zone. Listen, learn, and collaborate. I definitely encourage you to seek out for a mentor. The right mentor will challenge you to raise your bar without judging you. And looking back, that's one of the nicest thing happened to me. At the right time in my professional life, I found a mentor who would challenge me, would stretch my thinking, and I'm so glad I found it the right time.
Thanks, Suma. And sort of continuing on this, who do you look up for inspiration? Is it the mentor that you mentioned, or are there also certain personalities that you look up for inspiration?
Different people have inspired me at different stage in my professional and personal life. Based on the situation and circumstances, I look for the personalities to whom I can look and seek inspiration. So for me, it could be somebody from the family, it could be the people with whom we work, it could be the colleagues, it could be the great leaders, in some cases the mentor with whom I am associated for the last many years. So it's not one person. I'm evolving as a person. My thinking is also evolving. So accordingly, I look for the people who can inspire me. So it's just not one person, but a lot of people.